Recently, an NFL GM ranking article has popped up on an NBC sports site, and they had Omar Khan ranked as the 24th best GM in the league. Unfortunately, that's 23 spots too low. We've gotten some Kenny Pickett disrespect this offseason, also some Steelers team as a whole disrespect sprinkled in there. I didn't think we were going to see this one. This is just absolutely egregious. Name the miss. Name the bad move Omar has made since being the GM of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've all been money, and he also made another good one yesterday. Yep, yesterday the Steelers signed edge rusher Markus Golden. He is an 8-year vet in the league, spent the majority of his time with the Arizona Cardinals, but also had a stint with the Giants. He's just been a damn good player. It's not a coincidence he's been able to stick around in the league this long and is going on his 9th year. Was a former second-round pick back in 2015. Also has 3 seasons with 10-plus sacks. We mentioned this before. Overall, this is pretty much exactly what the Steelers needed. Markus Golden will be solidly, it's solidified. He's going to be our 3rd edge rusher. Why is this good? Why is this meaningful? For multiple reasons. This is an experiment we tried to pull off in 2020 by bringing in Melvin Ingram, bringing a savvy veteran. He's going to be like a rotational guy for us, but this is even a better time and a better place for it because we remember how things ended with Melvin Ingram. Because back then, you got to think, TJ Watt, he was the alpha. He was in depoy form. But then we had a little uncertainty for that edge rusher number 2 because Highsmith was coming off of his rookie season where he didn't necessarily sit behind Bud. Yeah, he sat behind Bud Dupree. He got some starts here and there, especially when he went down, but it wasn't his job. So he's coming into year 2 looking to prove himself. But then you also have a Melvin Ingram coming in, not necessarily thinking like, oh, I'm going to sit behind Highsmith. No, I'm going to compete, and I think this job's going to be mine because he was a multi-time Pro Bowler. He had the name. I know he was a little bit more up there in age, but he was, again, still trying to prove that he had it. Whereas now, Highsmith's coming off a 14.5 season. We know TJ Watt's still here. There is no other role for Markus Golden outside of edge rusher number 3. And I don't think this was the most pressing of needs. I mean, it was one of them. It was probably one of our top 3. But again, we've done so good this offseason, pretty much filling every gap on this roster that it's like, okay, I feel like we can go into the season with a Nick Herbig and a Quincy Roche as the depth. But do we want to? Do we want to rely on a 4th-round rookie? Do we want to rely on a guy that we think is talented in Roche but is kind of unproven? Do we want to rely on him to make a leap going into his year 3? And everything being brought up about Golden and his fit with this Steelers team just flat out right makes sense. Not only on the field is he a Steeler type of guy, high motor, good run defender, not the most athletic guy out there, but is going to win on veteran savvy and just straight up effort. And then you also have off the field. He's going to work with this locker room and be a really good veteran presence.
Former teammate, spent some time with him, like I said, out in AZ. Shout out to Markus, though, man. Really, really good player. Really good locker room guy, too, man. You talk about character, you talk about leadership, man. Guy that's going to get these dudes in here watching tape. He is just contagious energy, bro. Super contagious, and he's a football junkie. That's the thing that I love. When you hanging around him, he want to talk ball. He want to work ball. And that's the type of stuff you want.
He knows ball. Now, some people may be wondering, can Golden still play, though? Is he still going to have some impact? Is this worth it? Because he's getting up there in age, just turned 32. Last year, only had 2.5 sacks. But what I will say is he still was having impact. The stuff that is going to carry over from a year-to-year basis is definitely still there. Because 2021, not too long ago, had 11 sacks. Again, last year only had 2.5. But if you look at the pressures, you look at the QB hits, they actually increased from 2021 to 2022. So the stack numbers didn't pop up. I almost look at this receiver touchdowns. Because you got dudes like Julio Jones who weirdly for some seasons only have 1 or 2 receiving touchdown year. But obviously they're still making impact. They're still a good receiver. So I'm not saying Markus Golden is the Julio Jones of edge rushers. But what I am saying is he was still out there making plays. He still had a respectable PFF grade, and always take these with a grain of salt. But 65 last year in 2022, 2021 was 73. So yeah, dude can still play, and like this isn't even the Steelers asking him to do what he did for the Cardinals these last 2 years. Like in AZ, he was playing like 70% of the time. Here, it's probably going to be more like 30 to 40%. He's going to come in, know his role, and he's going to be fresh. I think it's all going to work out pretty well. I don't see any flaw in this signing. I really haven't seen any flaws in any of Omar Khan's signings or moves since he's taken over at GM. Just another good one, man. We're just waiting for another one.
Another one.
Namely, Quan Alexander, Reuben Foster, or potentially an Isaiah Simmons trade. But maybe we'll talk about that in a future vid. Hope you guys enjoyed this edition of Big Deke News. Let me know what you guys think of the Marcus Golden signing down in the comments. Stay chilling on a Thursday, and peace.